And now, an 8th special presentation.
In this edition of Art Beat Nation, an exhibition bridges art and fashion through history.
For fashion, the dawn of modernism meant the rise of the department store and the advent of ready-to-wear clothing.
A photographer captures the beauty of the American Southwest.
We're really always thinking about these larger mysteries of what's important and how do we connect to that.
A sculptor finds inspiration in a long-ago era.
I don't tend to look at what's going around me. I tend to look back in terms of influences historically.
And an artist gives Caribbean art a new home.
The story of a lot of the pieces shares the history of the region.
It's all ahead on Art Beat Nation. Funding for Art Beat Nation is made possible by contributions to aid from viewers like you. Thank you. They say art imitates life. An exhibition at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City proves just that. Impressionism, fashion, and modernity shows the evolution of fashion and art as portrayed by Impressionist master painters, including Manet and Degas. Christine Ha guides us through the exhibition.
Welcome to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where tonight we'll take a stroll through 19th century Paris, the sophisticated style capital where art and fashion go hand in hand. The exhibition examines the dialogue between art and fashion through the works of Impressionist painters. Masters like Manet, Degas, and Tissot found inspiration in the vibrant culture of a city bubbling with beauty and light. The freshness of new fashion trends proved to be an enticing and significant subject for these painters, seeking to capture the subtleties of modern life. Let's begin our journey through Impressionism, fashion, and modernity. The Impressionists created a romantic mood in their works with attention to natural light and stylized brush strokes. Portraits and common scenes of nature and the everyday were the favored subjects. Contemporary dress played a defining role in their practice and brought a joie de vivre to the canvas. Edouard Manet said, "The latest fashion is absolutely necessary for a painting. It's what matters most." In the 1860s, a newly rebuilt Paris was the backdrop for artists like Monet and Tissot. Full-length, large-format portraits of elegantly dressed women energized painting with an emphasis on style. Painting the trends of the day became a fresh way of expressing modern life in a fanciful light. Artists headed out of doors for what's called plein air painting, the practice of painting outside. Nowhere else were artists able to capture the essence of sunlight and shade. In this setting, Parisian summer fashions consist of colorful dresses and delicate embroidery, within a light-hearted tableau of picnics and leisure. Visitors will have the pleasure of seeing Claude Monet's monumental Luncheon on the Grass, on loan from the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. The two remaining fragments are shown together for the first time in the U.S. These exemplary plein air paintings capture the fleeting moments of both nature and style. These Impressionist works allow us to escape to a life of Parisian privilege and luxury. Our subjects are adorned in gorgeous high fashion, depicted by artists who navigated circles of influential high society across the urban landscape. The exhibition continues with a dynamic look at fashion and painting in black and white. The white dress exemplifies a more informal garment, as revealed in paintings that show a more relaxed and intimate side of life. White was considered an appropriate choice to wear around the home, and it was a preferred choice for the summertime. Here the ladies in white reveal the artist's familiar gaze, like that of Berthe Morisot. The little black dress is as much of a wardrobe staple then as it is now. Black gowns in taffeta and organza were flattering and elegant. Black was a sophisticated wardrobe choice, and it called upon the utmost skill of the artist's ability to capture light and dark. Poet Charles Baudelaire defined the term modernity, describing the concept as an ephemeral and fleeting experience. He praised the heroism of modern life, decorated with pretty and familiar things. As we travel into the 1880s, the term Impressionism is newly coined to describe this style of modern painting. It's not only the style and movement of light brushstrokes across the canvas. Impressionism refers to the way compositions of daily life are artfully rendered. During this period, dresses begin to lose the fuller form of earlier years, and their silhouettes become whittled into a distinctive shape that emphasizes a petite waist and full bustle. Fashion continues to play a pivotal role in these paintings, set amongst the backdrops of Paris. Central to this exhibition is Albert Bartholomew's painting in the Conservatory, on view right alongside the actual dress worn by the artist's wife. The summer dress features precise tailoring that includes tiers of pleats in rich violet, the details of which are skillfully depicted. While the designer of Madame Bartholomew's dress is unknown, many of the trend-setting designs of this era are from the high-fashion House of Worth. Designer Charles Frederick Worth was the premier couturier of the time, known for his use of lavish fabrics and stunning details. Menswear was also well represented in the paintings of the Impressionists. Styles remained classic in their simplicity. However, the men of Paris took special care to dress for both day and night. Accessories like top hats and canes signified a mark of individuality. For fashion, the dawn of modernism meant the rise of the department store and the advent of ready-to-wear clothing. Degas' series at the milliner and Tissot's The Shop Girl show both the consumer and the artist observing this new way of interacting. Fashion magazines were fixtures, not only for the women who read them. Manet and Renoir depict portrayals of this slice of life with their brushes. Accessories like corsets, hats, and slippers call to mind window shopping on the streets of Paris. Finally, we leave the exhibition with a look at the elegant urban setting that's so integral to these scenes of modern fashionable life. The city and its elegant locations, like a ballroom or the theater, were places to see and be seen in vogue and a la mode. From rainy boulevards to sunny parks, the Impressionist era emphasized light and life. Both painters and designers were eager to communicate a new perspective, reflecting the trends of 19th century Paris. Impressionism, fashion, and modernity is a rich confection of an exhibition, giving us a chance to admire this chic era of sumptuous fashion and art.
To find out more about this and other exhibitions, visit metmuseum.org. In the midst of the American Southwest landscapes, photographer Michael Berman strives to capture the beauty of the natural world. Berman's focus stems from his fascination with the relationship between people and Mother Nature.
The land, and especially the American Western landscape, has something that's really hard to find, and that's space to go off alone in. And I think that allows you to have both an inner dialogue as well as a dialogue that's relevant to the larger community. And it really is an amazing thing to be able to drive down a road, come to a gate, open it up, drive through the gate, get out of your truck, and then, keep walking. People have ways of understanding the bigger things, and we do that with symbolic systems. we're really always thinking about these larger mysteries of what's important and how do we connect to that. In terms of the land, there are two different ways of defining how we're seeing the landscape. And really in the contemporary world is humans have this incredible capacity to use things, and we interpret the world's values through what we can use. And right now science is the ultimate affirmation of that. You'll find any issue with land use, whether it's fire, water, the ecosystems, is always this idea, well, we can figure this out through science or management. And I actually look at it another way, as many of the great problems we're facing, fire, introduced species, are actually somebody who thought they could figure it all out in a real simple way, and then they apply a simple solution. But yet there's these bigger, complex systems. And I think art is really a way, and aesthetics is a way of getting beyond the idea that I can reduce it to small things, but that I can look at the whole and admit I don't understand it, but actually begin to see both its manifest structure as well as its inherent values. The Gila is, it's kind of an amazing place in that many concepts that people assume everybody knows and understands or everyone is comfortable have actually emerged in the Gila. It's a place that still teaches. Over time, I've learned, how to see a landscape. The Gila is one of the last truly wild forests that's left on the planet, and especially the ponderosa, the large yellow pine forest. It still is a complex ecosystem that it's working. And by working, what I mean is that if you leave it alone, if humans don't interact with it, it has a dimensional complexity. For me, photography is a way of finishing a relationship. It's not the beginning point. And I often find that there's a long period of time where I like to look at things. I really see my true work as looking closely at the world. I like to think that at some point in time I make photographs because I feel it's important to make those photographs. As an artist, one has to find something outside oneself that's more important. If you look at the tradition of landscape photography, and especially in the American West, which is really one of the iconic places where people go to make photographs, is often what you have is people imposing a vision on it that they already know, understand, or believe in. And I actually think that our understanding of the land has to evolve beyond that, because what ended up happening is that when we think about saving a landscape, we have to have the cathedral forest, or we have to have this great canyon, or we have to have this pristine landscape. And what it turns out is that many of these ecosystems, I like to use the word scraggly, is that they're not this big, obvious, really, wow, I just have to stand on the edge of this and get the IMAX going. That they're actually very subtle, or they're not even, in quotes, that pretty, but they can be quite wonderful to dwell within. And that if you spend time, you begin to see the innate beauty. And I think a gift like that is the same gift of, the greatest literature or philosophy or art, is the ability to come to the world anew and see it in all its manifest beauty. So what photography allows me to do is this amazing thing of look at the land, look at places. I don't have the patience or interest to make a certain kind of landscape photograph, but I love looking at things. And so rather than try and make something that really, you know, is this kind of grand landscape, which I don't really enjoy or have patience for quite that much anymore, is that the more subtle things that I just find amazing is what my work becomes about. When you ask an artist about what they hope to achieve with their work, sometimes you can say achieving means, you know, making the history books, being considered an important artist. Rather than my work being saved, I'd much rather see some of these places be saved. I don't think my work is significant at all. I think these places are.
To find out more about Michael Berman, visit fragmentedimages.com. Sculptor Gary Wiseman molds bronze and clay into large-scale figures that channel the art of ancient Greece and Italy. Wiseman takes us into his workshop to show us how he makes his grand sculptures.
My name is Gary Wiseman, and I make classical bronze sculptures. They're very traditional. The Greeks are a very big influence, and also the Italian Renaissance is a very big influence. I don't tend to look at what's going around me. I tend to look back in terms of influences historically. We travel to Italy, maybe once a year for about 3 weeks, and we draw extensively, non-stop, 9 hours a day. I fill sketchbooks. The influences are used in the poses I do here. My main energies are going to be on the classical nude. And I think there's, as far as public collections go, museums, outdoor situations, the nude is way blocked in this country. You'll see a lot of them in Europe, although I don't know how contemporary. Some cantilevered life-size pieces because it's just really maxing out the possibilities of architecturally what can a bronze structurally do. So they'll completely hover horizontally with no supports. What I'm working on now are female crucifixes. And I don't really know why. The pieces have become a lot more narrative now, so that's kind of exciting. I'm sorry they're so tortured right now. You have to listen to these things. You know, you're listening to a drawing as it's happening, you're listening to a sculpture as it's happening. And I'm working on empowered kind of pieces which are based on Greek heroes with weapons. kind of tricky business. It's very stressful. I started doing this in the mid-'70s. When I do the pours, I'll pour 1,500 to 2,000 pounds in a day or so. During a pour, I have my ex-students come up from the Pennsylvania Academy in Philadelphia. There's an experiential rapport that I have with the metal. Would I do these things if they didn't sell? Yeah, I would. I think it's critical to always stay, for me, in a place of not knowing. I don't know. And finding an experiential connection to it through some form of non-intellectual sensation that will hold my intensity of focus. We're writing the story. I don't have a finite fixed ending. It's an evolution.
To find out more, visit GaryWeisman.net. What do you get when a Sacramento artist combs the Caribbean for unique art and adds her own touch? Rob Stewart gives us a look.
And we're celebrating the world of art today at the Kumba Collective Art Gallery in Sacramento with Sacramento artist Adele James. Good to see you, Adele.
Thank you for coming to Kumba.
It's a beautiful place here. What I love about your work is that you've teamed up with an artist in Trinidad and you capture his art and you bring it to America and give it a whole new life. Tell me about that.
Well, I was inspired by the work of a folk artist in Trinidad and Tobago, and I had bought his work, but what that's evolved into really is this idea of Caribbean art promotion as a way to really promote and bring awareness to folk art of the Caribbean, and it's a collaborative effort. So what I do is I photograph the work, but also photograph different images that I layer to create these pieces, and then when the items are sold, share the profits with the artist, but it also helps to create a new form of the work. So I create sheet glaze, I put the work on different items from functional art baskets, really thinking about work that is affordable, that's functional, that's also beautiful. And at the same time, it shares the culture and the history of the Caribbean.
Interesting.
And to think about how can these artists be supported in continuing to do what they do and also creating other forms that can extend the value of the work.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
You know, I think that for me, when I look at the pieces, they tell a story. And the story of a lot of the pieces shares the history of the region.
And it's giving the artist in Trinidad new life here in America.
It's a collaborative effort. And, you know, for me, that's how I like to work.
You're a new artist. You've been doing this about a year, correct?
Yes.
What does it mean to you to have a piece in the Crocker within 1 year?
It's overwhelming. This whole journey has been overwhelming. So from coming to Kumba and having them say, we want you to show your work here, to doing the second Saturdays, and then the Crocker. You know, I have to believe that it's not about me, but that, you know, this is some of the role that I am meant to play in helping to bring attention to this work. And I get excited about doing it as well.
I can tell, and it's beautiful work. It is beautiful art, Adele, and we thank you for sharing the story with us today. Adele James here in Sacramento at the Kumba Collective Art Gallery. Good to see you.
Thank you.
To find out more, visit the Kumba Collective Art Gallery's Facebook page. For more arts and culture, visit azpbs.org/artbeat, where you'll find featured videos and information on the Arizona art scene. Funding for Artbeat Nation was made possible by contributions to aid from viewers like you. Thank you.